My name is Lone Sarge. You can just call me Sarge. I don't normally do this kind of content. I mean, look, I'm mostly just content to play the game rather than make guides on it. But something I noticed is that the Chaplain guide does a very, very poor job of actually explaining what you're supposed to do. Or at least how to get to the point where you can do something about things. Now, I'm sure you really enjoy this glorious cluster of items I have here. All of it's here for a reason, and God willing, I'll show you how to play as a chaplain. Okay, to start off with the basics, you have your Bible. For the sake of simplicity, each of these is a Bible, except this one does no holy damage for some reason, but it does more blunt. Whatever. But in any case, each one of these serves the same purpose as a Bible. The Bible can do a lot of things, like healing people. If you tap them with it, it heals, I believe, 15 units of brute and 15 of burn. But if you're unworthy, like my character, aka not a chaplain, it will burn you instead, dealing a lot of burn damage. I mean, look, heat, shock, cold, and caustic. The radiation might be unrelated. But yes, it's a very useful tool for healing, especially if you decide to frontline as a chaplain, which you may have to do to respond to a station threat. Ideally your target will have a helmet on, because if they don't, there's a roughly 1/3 chance that you will smack them across the head and deal 15 units of blunt instead, which is a pretty hefty amount of damage, so you don't want that to happen. The Bible can be used for a lot of things. In fact, it's probably the most important tool in your arsenal besides your no rod, like up there. I'll get to that in just a second. You can summon your Bible by using your, I believe it's a blue space scripture beacon, and you can summon your armor by using your armaments beacon. Interacting with a container of water, or at least most containers of water, will allow you to bless the fluid inside, which you can then drink to have it act as like a minor cure-all, except for like radiation and genetic. What's that noise? Well, unrelated. Holy water is useful for healing those who still have a soul or are otherwise not unholy. There's several creatures that are considered unholy in this game, and that includes these fellows. Slaughter demons, laughter demons, slashers, and heretics. Devils are also considered unholy, but I'm not able to actually spawn one of those in, but a lot of the same stuff applies. You hit them with a holy weapon or like a Bible, it does holy damage to them specifically. I'll probably make another video talking about how to deal with devils, because they're very annoying for new chaplains. I think it might just be the devil and soulless individuals who receive any kind of reaction from being sprayed with it or splashed with it, which is strange considering that these are also like of unholy origin, but I won't question it. Attention. So the thing the game doesn't tell you is how exactly you end up getting your weapons. And I think that that's kind of a bad thing. It says like, oh yeah, you put your no rod on the altar and you get your weapon of choice or whatever. Which is cool and all, but what it doesn't tell you is that what kind of altar it is determines what you get. So like right here, this is a honk mother altar. So if you were to put your null rod right here on this, you'd get this ugly, kinda bad mask called the Honk Mother's Maw. It takes up a ton of room in your inventory, and you can't clip it to your belt at all, which I personally don't really agree with. You can't really put it on your back either, so you're expected to have this in your hand at all times. As you saw before, it has a 100% chance to reflect magic while it's held out, and it does 10 units of holy and 12 units of blunt. It's slow, but I mean, I guess that's a reasonable speed. And it's like, if we were to, say, make a chaos altar, like right here, we'll get the Hand of God. This also has a 100% chance to reflect magic. Does 10 units of heat, 4 of slash, and 10 of holy. Once you pick it up, you're unable to drop it. It very closely mimics
the emergency shuttle has been called.
Go away, emergency shuttle.
The emergency shuttle has been recalled.
So what you're able to actually... Oh, man. Oh, it also acts as a crowbar, which is kind of goofy. As you can see right here, though, that did a pretty reasonably high amount of damage.
Attention.
I'm not going to do this for every weapon, but there's some points that I would like to make. So yeah, you can see they took like around 10 and 4, and since they're not unholy, they don't take any extra damage. Holy damage largely only affects unholy things like this guy, this guy, this guy. Notice how they took a lot more. Yep, that's the holy damage. Ooh, they took a lot of it too. You know, the thing I find interesting is that it states in the slasher guide that they take traditionally more damage from holy, yet if you actually see that in practice here, it doesn't. So, as you've probably figured out, the guides aren't exactly reliable in telling you any information that actually applies. So that's why I'm sort of making this as like a testing area for you to actually see what it does. Some weapons replace one of your body parts. Like in this case, the Hand of God I can't remove. Like, I can't drop this. The only way to remove this would to be like either admin deleting it or cutting off that arm. So wood makes the druid altar, which gives us a monk's staff, 6 units of holy, 2.5 blunt.
Attention.
100% chance to reflect magic. But as you can see, it's a lot quicker than other tools, which is very valuable. The Fanged Altar, made with a piece of any meat, I believe, creates an arrhythmic knife. So this slows you down and speeds you up randomly, apparently. Kind of like, you know, think of an arrhythmia in someone's heart. The damage value is 9 units of slash, 10 of holy. It's honestly a scalpel's probably better just as a general weapon, but against the unholy, this is still pretty great. The Heaven Altar, made with a knight helmet, makes the Holy Claymore. The Holy Claymore has two functions. The one-handed mode, which is the broad swinging and single targeting swings. If you look at the damage, 13 units of slash, 10 holy. It makes it a very useful weapon against enemies that are melee focused. If you two-hand it, you get access to this special ranged attack here. And mouse 1 is your swing still, but mouse 2 fires out this like little holy fireball. I don't actually know what that thing I don't know what that does. As you can tell, it doesn't really tell you half of the crap these things do. I believe it did damage. Chances are that's like some kind of nullification ball or something. But in any case, you're able to do that. I'm sure a better chaplain could tell me exactly what it does. But it looks like a holy fireball. This is the maintenance altar, made with the object I just put there, insulated gloves. It's basically your tighter weapon. You get... Oh wow, that's like every tool ever built into it. 14 units of holy, 9 of blunt. And it doesn't appear to have a right-click ability. Okay. I think I discovered what its special ability is, in any case. There you have it, folks. There you have it. Jeez. Well, I guess if you're fighting foes in space, you, won't really have to worry about them coming back. Wow. Okay. Next altar is the Toolbox Altar, which I'm sure some of you are gonna love this. Gives you his holy chainsaw. This is like a Warhammer reference. It does a lot of structural damage with a very quick attack speed, which makes up for its relatively low damage overall. To actually use it, it has to be dual wielded.
Attention.
You get kind of a jab like this, and a hit like this. Very solid, very fun weapon. I mean, if there's like, let's say a kudzu outbreak in botany, you're gonna just tear through it. It's gonna be beautiful. But in any case, the only way to get rid of it is to, again, either admin delete it or cut off that arm. Next altar is the Nanotracin altar, which gives you an atheist fedora. I didn't know this even existed. It does melee damage, but it also does quite a lot of throw damage. It takes up your head slot, which means if you're, for whatever reason, not wearing a helmet, you can put it right there. It also fits in your pockets. Doesn't fit on your belt. Oh my goodness, bro. Alright, that's kind of nuts. That, I don't know if those values are correct, but it does fly back to you much like a boomerang, which is a little nuts. Heretics with their insane healing factor might be a bit more of an issue, but a very valuable tool if you want to look like a Redditor, I guess. Coming up next, we have the Space Christian altar, which you make with a nun hood. This one gives you a rosary, and this doesn't, well, it does damage, but its primary use isn't a weapon. What you can actually do with this tool, if you're a chaplain that is pray to it. I don't seem to be able to do that right now. Yeah, I think it's because I'm not internally a chaplain. So this is probably the only one where you'll run into that issue. But when you pray to this, it takes like maybe somewhere between like 5 to 10 seconds to pray. It creates a massive AoE heal. It's not a lot of healing, but it is healing. And it's an infinite amount of it, provided you don't get interrupted during your prayer by like damage or something. That healing is very useful if you want to play kind of a frontline healer, but you know, just below the back line. You're not gonna be killing much with this. Its prayer ability also damages all that do not have souls or are otherwise unholy within a pretty good radius. I don't know the exact limit, but it's got to be like over 5 tiles worth of radius. Next up, we have the Clockwork Altar. When you put this here, you get an Ancient Spear. This weapon does a lot of throw damage, and honestly a very large amount of melee damage as well. 18 piercing with 10 holy for the melee attack. You can one-hand it. Oh, actually it is just a one-handed weapon, so you could run a shield with this as well. Next up is the Draconic Altar. When you put this here, you get a Dragon's Tail, which is, I'm assuming, a whip. 5 units of Holy, 5 of Heat, and 5 of Brute. Oh no, this isn't a whip, this is a sickle. Well, if it has any other effects than what is listed, I'm sure you'll find that out in your own time. Next up, we have the Imperial Altar, which gives you the chainsword. This is the real Warhammer reference right here. 7 units of blunt, 5 units of holy. You can put it on your belt. You can't put it in your pocket though. This has a relatively quick attack speed and what looks to be a pretty large arcing swing. And lastly, we have the Technology Altar made with a modular machine part. This gives you the Chaplain's holster. This is going to take up your belt slot. And it gives you 2 guns. Castle and Jackal. This might be a Devil May Cry reference. I don't know what to tell you. But, you get guns. 5 units of piercing, 4 units of holy per shot. You can fire up to 6 shots per second, apparently. And let's see this. You have the holy number, 7 shots in your pistols. Now, I can't exactly show you much more than this because I would have to like actually be able to pray to these weapons. But while praying, you would reload their magazine. I believe that's the only way to reload them, because there's no eject button, no nothing. So there's the weapons. I believe there's also a shield. I don't know how to get it though. I'll look into it further, and I'll try to leave a comment down in the description on how to get the shield. But it's a shield called Bulwark, and it's probably the best shield in the game, at least on Omustation. That's primarily what I'm making this for. Another thing erroneously listed in the guidebook is that all armor is identical. It's not. I'll tell you right now, it is not identical at all. It may be similar, but it's not identical. So, let's start with the Crusader set. This is probably Chappy's first set right here. I'm not going to list out all these resistances, but I am going to give you a second to look at exactly what kind of protection they're going to be providing you. For some of these, they have a toggleable hood, so I'll also examine that for the sake of being thorough. Some of them come with capes as well. The capes don't provide any additional bonuses. Some of them, like the dragon suit, are certainly unique, mostly in the fact that it offers practically no protection. It does offer more protection than regular clothing, apparently, because that's some pretty bad protection. But if you're, I guess, fighting a dragon and want to try your luck communicating or charming or whatever it is you want to do, this dragon set right here makes you highly fire resistant. I believe as much as an Atmos Tech's gear. So, while some of it is similar, it's not all the same. And I dislike that it's listed that way because it's just false. Some of them are the same, but not all of them. I found that out the hard way with that dragon set right there. That was a very unfun round, honestly. See, look, this Forgotten Armor, for example, gives you explosion resistance, which I don't believe the other armors give. Or some of the other armors, anyway. Okay, they do. I'm your unreliable narrator here. You gotta be really careful when reading what these things protect, because some armors don't give, say, tail protection, or like some of them might not have foot protection, so just bear that in mind. But it's not entirely false to say that most of the armor is largely the same. but not all of it. That's just something to bear in mind. It might be the dragon set that's the little outlier here. Now, I'm not going to make a comprehensive point on enchanting. In fact, I'm not even 100% sure if I can enchant items this way, because I'm not a chaplain. Like, let's take the Holy Claymore, for example, and I don't know, I want to give it fire affinity, or whatever, like from Minecraft. So I'm not worthy. Okay, then. Well, I hope my rambling has been at least somewhat informative. I've gone over what most of the weapons do, how you get them, all that jazz. I would hope it at least told you something. This game has a lot of shit code. I mean, Omustation in particular has a lot of shit code because it's based off of Goob code. What I'm actually running right now is the like Goob server that you can download and run locally. But since Chaplain never gets anything really interesting done to him anymore, this is all that there is. Now, the natural healing factor of a lot of antagonists can take care of a lot of damage, or usually they have more tricks up their sleeves. But in particular, some advice I want to give you about dealing with devils is that shitsec is going to ignore you. You can ask for help in, like, detaining them or, like, even just finding them. Security is going to ignore you because they're shitsec. That's just the way it is. I'm sorry. So you're gonna have to get really used to showing up way too late to the party and the devil already having like a dozen souls. Some people don't even report the activity. They'll let it happen. They won't report it. The most you might get is a chime in service saying
Attention.
like Chappy to X location. Now, shitsec being shitsec, they've never read space law, and this game's guidebook being awful, yeah, it's not gonna tell you hardly anything. Devils are practitioners of dark magic, like unauthorized magic. That breaks space law in itself. That's a highly illegal crime. Unauthorized magic use, or like unauthorized magic items. Additionally, signing the contract is a crime. So like if a crew member signs a devil contract, that is a crime. Like security should be arresting these individuals for breaching their contract. Not to mention, the devil should also be a target for arrest because of them enabling the crew to breach their nanotracing contract. Like, I don't understand why security doesn't understand this. Maybe it's because the devil isn't a very, like, fun enemy to fight, and they want to be, like, frontlining against the slaughter demons and, like, all the other crap. But that's something, like, you gotta remind security, hey, like, the things this devil is doing are highly illegal, and you're not doing your job as a guard if you're ignoring it. The chaplain is the first line of defense against the supernatural, but it becomes a bit different when the supernatural is more than just metaphysical. Like, look, the slasher, this thing can, like, destroy the entire station. It's insanely cracked. Heretics, you don't want these guys to ascend. Demons suck. Like, these guys are kinda powerful. They're really just annoying, though. Something you should also remember is that you can turn blood into wine,
Attention.
which can deny slaughter demons, for example, their ability to teleport out of big blood puddles. It's another thing. I might be getting a little bit off topic here, but you really do need to remind your security guys, hey, like, devils are breaking the law. They're breaking space law just by being here. The AI is probably going to be useless because the devil is still considered crew. But try to work with your security guards. Maybe you won't even get all of them to like do anything, but if you can just at least get one who's keeping a lookout, that's enough. Holy water burns the devil. Additionally, saying its true name will severely damage it and like stun it. There's other information on the devil as well. It's included in your guidebook here. How much of it actually works is questionable. You can banish devils with a Bible. Again, a Bible or holy water burns a devil to the touch, and pronouncing the true name of it will stun them and heavily damage them. The true name is only found on contracts that the devil has signed, so actually getting a hold of those is tricky. What you're going to want to do is ideally let someone, well, maybe you shouldn't let someone sign the contract, but if you see someone signing the contract and then the devil signs it as well, you need to find a way to slip them, like a bar of soap, like maybe just shove them over. Get them to do something that'll make them drop the piece of parchment, and then take it for yourself. They can't like unsummon those things. When you find that, well, I hope you're good at remembering names. It's probably going to be some unholy abomination of a name that you need to remember. See, when a Chappy uses a Bible on a critical or otherwise incapped devil, they can temporarily banish them. Basically, you're going to be valid hunting this devil for most of the game, like, as a chaplain. Devil gets a lot of toys to play with. Something to also remember, shitsec, is by purchasing a soul, if that person dies, they can't be revived. So it can be considered prevention of revival, which is kind of illegal, according to your funny space law that you don't read. Your security officers should certainly be a lot more active with these things. That's the point I'm trying to put across. Maybe it's only an issue on Omustation, but it's like the security officers almost always do nothing. And then that just leaves your lone chaplain crawling across the station trying to catch up with this entity that can teleport away in a heartbeat. Chaplains get good gear, that's about it. Like, you don't get too many utilities. It may say that Chaplain is an easy role, but I would argue that Chaplain is probably one of the more difficult roles in this game. Your responsibilities are often few, but the responsibilities that you have are arduous. They are truly massive, provided the enemy that you're facing is competent. Also, all the crew members are dumb and they'll like sell off their soul for a pair of Jordans, so keep that in mind. That makes fighting the devil even harder. Truthfully. But tangents aside, I hope that this video has helped explain things to you, at least to some extent. I'm not a YouTuber. Not really. I'm just doing this out of frustration with both the crew and the guide for like blue balling chaplains so hard. I'll try to put out more content, and I'll try to figure out how to get the Bulwark shield. I know it's a chaplain only item. I just got to figure out how it works, or like how to make it.